Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In today's video I'm going to be doing an in-scale layout update video, but I'm not really going to be doing an update on the track. I'm going to be doing an update on my motive power roster, and I'm going to be telling some stories about some of the new locomotives I've gotten recently. Now you may notice that all of my in-scale engines, except for this chassis system F unit right here, are currently in their boxes. That's because since I've started going to a new train store recently, I've actually learned some new things from the people who run the store. Which one of the things I learned is they were telling me how it's a good habit to keep your locomotives in their boxes when you're not currently running them because, it helps keep them nice and safe and prevents them from being, dusty and grimy and all that type of stuff. So, they're nice and safe in there, and then whenever I want to play with them, I just take them out the box. So it's a really good tip because, dust can be very unhealthy for locomotives. It'll make them look dirty, and then over time, they'll start to lose their performance. So it's a really good thing I learned. Now, first, I'm going to start off with my SD70M. So we'll move, Mr. Chessie, as I call him, right over there, and we will take a look at my SD70M. Now, there's a cool story about this SD70M. I came into the store one day, and they had told me the last time I went to the store that they had purchased a lot of new in-scale items from an estate sale they went to. But they told me that the engines and stuff were not ready to be sold yet because you had to go through them, test them, make sure they worked, and then come up with prices on what they were going to sell them for. So a few weeks passed, and I came back, and they were all ready to go and ready to be looked at. And the owner of the store brought a big box that was full of nothing but in-scale engines, and he said I could look through the box and pick what I wanted. So immediately when I started digging through the box, this is one of the first things I found, and I was like, I want this engine. Like my mind was made up because I'm a big fan of SD70Ms, and also I really like to collect engines that I've seen in real life. Like nostalgia, value, all that type of stuff. It makes it super cool. I like to, be able to play with the engines. I like to play with engines in my layout that are the same as the ones I go out and see in real life. So, I see SD70Ms a lot. My current spot, is a big hub for SD70Ms. There's always, at least, one at the yard, and most of the time there's two that are, working the yard, shoving cars and stuff. So I got this one. It's a flared SD70M. The radiators stick out, and it's number 4915. So really nice. This is one of the ones that, I chose. Now the next one is a big one, and this one really excited me. So you guys know I'm a big fan of the EMD SD75 series of diesel locomotives. So it didn't take me long of digging through that big box to find this SD75, and I was like, done deal, I want it, because I'm a big fan of 75s. As you can see, I have an HO scale 75 right over there. Now I've been trying to track down one of these for years because I really wanted an in-scale 75, but they are not easy to find because it's an older model. I don't know off the top of my head what year this run of models was made, but it's not a modern engine. Like I'm sure it wasn't like the last 5 years. It's an older model. So I would look on eBay and I wouldn't really find any. And sometimes when they would pop up on eBay, they were just outrageous prices. People trying to sell these for like, $193 and stuff. And I was just like, I want one, but I don't want to pay, close to $200 for a DC, for an in-scale engine with no DCC and no sound, and at that, an older model. So they had this guy available, and I picked him up. Really excited. Really happy I have this guy because, I'm a big SD75 fan. Now, let's get into some of the other new ones. We have Southern Pacific. We have a X Southern Pacific engine right here. As you can see, the bubble wrap kind of makes it hard to see, but I like that they put bubble wrap in there because, it takes care of the model, and when I have them, not on the layout, it keeps them nice and safe. Now, this engine has a really cool story behind it. So, the first day I went to the store, I asked if I could see their in-scale locomotives. I asked, did they have any used ones? Because they have, the new ones, all out and, all out to be seen. But he was like, do you have any used ones? And they're like, sure. So they open up like this glass case and pull out a box with all these in-scale engines in them. And I immediately saw this one and I was like, I want this engine. Like, I really, really want this engine. But I was not in the situation to be able to buy it that day. I was not able to get it that day. So the people were really kind and put it on hold for me, and I was able to come back a few weeks later and pick it up. This is similar to the SD70M story because one of the main reasons I really wanted this engine is because I had recently caught my first AC 4400 SP engine that was still in its original SP paint for like the first time in 10 years because, you know, I went down to my local spot and the 6378 was on a coal train departing the yard, and this looks like just like 6378, you know. It's, you know, obviously based on it. You know, it says C449W, not AC4400, but, you know, this is what it's based on. You know, sometimes companies won't do the exact model or just get something similar because it's cheaper or whatever. But it looks just like 6378, and the really thing I like about this one a lot is how it's it's modeled after the merger. You know, it looks like 6378, how it has the yellow patch with the, you know, the numbers, and then it has the UP shield on the nose and on the side. You know, this is what 6378 looks like. You know, the SP engines that are still in the original paint are all patched up. So I really like that it's, you know, all patched because, you know, they have made others where they're in their original SP look, you know, no patches, no UP shield, none of that. And here is my fourth new engine that I've gotten in the last couple of weeks. H3 SD70 Mac. Now, when I first bought this, I thought it was SD70 Mac E because I originally had the thought that turns out is actually false. I think I butchered that word. I originally had the belief that turned out to actually be false is that I thought all SD70 Macs that were wearing the H3 paint scheme were part of the Progress Rail rebuild program, meaning that they were all SD70 Mac E's. But it turns out that's not the case. This is actually based on a real engine that's just a standard SD70 Mac that was painted in H3. It's not an SD70 Mac E. It was not a part of the rebuild program, but it's you know, has the H3 paint, which this is really cool to get because I've seen SD70 Mac E's before, and they look just like this. So, you know, the nostalgia value is super big with this. You know, I've seen, you know, 9730, 9721. I've seen these engines leading twice. So, you know, that's super cool. And that wraps it up for all of my new N-scale engines. I also got a new N-scale car, but, you know, I do leave my cars in the layout because, you know, freight cars don't need as much, you know, TLC as the engines do. You know, freight cars don't mind being left on sidings. You know, they don't have a motor, and, you know, that you got to keep from getting dusty and all that type of stuff. So, hope you like this video. Let me know if you want to see more N-scale stuff in the future. I plan to post some more N-scale stuff. As for future N-scale projects, I would like to make an N-scale, like a more legit N-scale layout sometime in the future. You know, not anytime, probably soon, maybe next year sometime. I'll start, you know, getting a table together and making it more official. You know, our yard and all that type of stuff. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, and there's the chassis system, which I'll show you something cool before I tune out the video. So keep your eye on that chassis system F unit.